So as many people know, Disney World can either be a very stressful or a very magical vacation. And the Orlando summer heat can just make that experience 1,000 times better or worse. I'm gonna be sharing my top 10 tips that'll help save your summer Disney trip. So the very first tip I'm going to share with you today is to stay hydrated. This tip starts before your trip's even planned most of the time, because if you're driving, I always recommend bringing cases of water because it's cheaper than buying the individual waters here at the parks. And if you did fly and you don't want to spend all that extra money in the parks, you can get water bottles, like cases of waters, delivered by Amazon to the resort that you're staying in. Or if you aren't even that far and you're in the parks and you need to get a free drink of water, you just go into any type of kiosk or quick service place and they will have special water cups for you to use free of charge. And my second tip is now to take advantage of water rides. What's really great here is Splash Mountain did close, but Tiana's Bayou Adventure is opening this summer. So that's a huge plus because they're adding another water attraction to cool you off during the summer. The main water attractions in the parks is gonna be Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is in Magic Kingdom, and Kali River Rapids over in Animal Kingdom. Tip number 3 is to dress appropriately. Obviously, you don't want to wear long sleeves out here during the summer. It's just going to get very hot, which is going to lead to you being more miserable. I even recommend that instead of wearing regular tennis shoes, you wear maybe flip-flops if you're used to that, but if you are used to wearing shoes, you can wear Crocs and put the strap around the back, or some sandals, so you get some airflow on your feet. My fourth tip is going to be taking breaks indoors. There are a lot of indoor spaces that you can take breaks in and cool off that have the AC. Like, they have various different shops, and they also have shows that you can watch inside the parks that teach you a lot of different pieces of valuable information of what led to the parks being created. Next up for tip number 5 is they have many different mist zones throughout the parks, and they turn on around summertime whenever the heat index is high and the humidity is high. The only downside of this is you're gonna be stuck wet the rest of the day, so you gotta decide, do you wanna be wet from sweat or do you wanna be wet from the cooling mist zones? Tips number 6 and 7 are pretty much similar. 6 is to pace yourself, and 7 is taking a midday break at peak time. And the reason why you want to take that break is if you're bringing the kiddos, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's just going to overstimulate them, and they need the break just to chill out, get away from all the stimulation. So bring them back to the resort room, let them chill by the pool, just get them out of the park so that way they're not in this super high intense environment and they can step away and just relax for a little bit. But not only is it good for them, but it's good for the adults as well. I love taking a little break from the parks whenever I have the kids. Even if I'm just doing an adult trip during the summer, I take that break just to relax and get away from all of the stimulation in the parks. And I know I said to take those breaks during the peak times, and if you are staying on property, you do get early entry access into the parks, which is about 30 minutes to an hour before they open for everyone else. So if you have the kiddos, I definitely recommend taking advantage of that. So you're gonna be able to get in before everyone else gets in, and the park gets the heaviest and most crowded between the hours of 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. on most days. And if you're looking to come during a not so busy time, here's a quick tip. Make sure you plan a couple park days on Tuesdays through Thursdays. The 8th tip is a must for kids in the strollers because they will get overheated very quickly because they don't have as much airflow in those. So I always recommend bringing a portable fan for them. We have one that we clip to the stroller. It just clips on, and then Wolfie can lay back in the stroller and he gets a fan blowing on him the whole time, and it just keeps them happy and cool. The second thing would be fans for the adults. You can get these fans on Amazon, and they just strap around your neck and they cool you off the entire time. Basically what happens is when you wear it around your neck, it blows up into your face. Next up matches with one of the tips up top, and that is to wear breathable footwear. So that combines with dressing appropriately. So again, I said wear some Crocs, sandals, something a lot more breathable for your feet. You don't want to be wearing anything that's overly padded and overly secured over your foot, because it will make you a little bit too hot and it will end up making you very uncomfortable for the day. And that's just the last thing you want to do. You want to be very comfortable on your Disney vacation, or else you're going to be very stressed out and aggravated. And my 10th and final tip to share with you guys is, as you're watching the parades on the side of the street, you want to find a spot that not only is shaded, but but if you can find one right outside of one of the stores, you can get some whiffs of AC blowing on you, which will help cool you off after being in a long, hot park day. Now, those are the 10 tips that I have found the most helpful whenever I come to the parks during the summer. But I'd love to know if you have any tips that you'd like to share with other people down in the comments, so that way everyone can have an amazing summer in Disney World.